Hello. Hello, Dookie Farts. Welcome back to another episode. And this time it seems I have upgraded. I have stolen my dad's recording stuff. So this episode's gonna be in slightly better quality. Still ass, but slightly better. So yes, everyone say thank you. Yay! Alright, so let me get straight into it. Today I want to be talking about being broke. And GOB's a job. I'm going to be talking about employment, so if that triggers you, click off this video. And other than employment, I'm just going to be talking about just the need to have a job, just a bit of society. It's not going to be as like goofy, because I might drop a little serious topics in there, but so let me just get straight into it, because I don't know when my parents are going to be home, and I kind of have to rush this, So I am currently 16 years old, but I have actually had a job before, because I don't know how it works in other countries, but in the Netherlands at least, it's pretty normal for someone around the age of 15, 16 to really like start working, and not jobs, of course, like part-time jobs, you know. I think that's normal in all countries. So I've had a job before, and I used to work at a supermarket, and long story short, it's the shittiest thing I've ever had to do in my life, and there's a couple reasons why. First of all, they don't train you at all. Like, it was my first work day, and they just got straight to business. I got no introduction. I didn't understand how it worked. Basically, they gave you an introduction how to log into your account so you can even see when you have to work, and then it's just get straight to work. Like, get straight to work, you know? Which was crazy to me. So that was already a jump start. Second of all, I didn't like anyone there. I didn't know people. I actually had to ask my friends if they wanted to come work with me, which some of them did actually, but I didn't know anyone. You just get just thrown straight into it. I don't know if this is with a real like job, but at least here part-time, it was really strange how that happened. And they rush you just for it to be ass. Like, what? I lost all my motivation to work in the first like 2 weeks. Like, I'm being so serious right now. My manager was ass. He was a fat white dude who was balding with a wife and children, and his name was Glenn, and he's just so shitty, and he had this passive aggressiveness to him, but then at the same time he tries to be cool, because he was like, if you call me with if you call me sir, I'm not gonna respond, just call me like bro or dude, or you're my manager, bro. You're the one who keeps me working. I'm not calling you bro, I'm not calling you dude, I'm not calling you bro chow, I'm calling you sir. Because that's what you are. You're a grown-ass man, so I'm calling you sir. Right? Yeah. So apparently that didn't work for them that way. I don't give a fuck. Anyways, I'm long gone now. Long gone. Well, a couple of months, I'm gone. And every day I thank the Lord that I'm gone. But every month, when I check my bank account and I don't have my paycheck, it low-key kills me inside, because that paycheck was the only thing that kept me working. I worked there for over half a year. I almost worked there for a full year. And every month, I just had to remind myself, I'm doing this for the money. Because that's deadass, that's the only thing that keeps me going. And that's the crazy thing, is that's how most jobs work. Most people just do it for the money. And I mean, no shit, but like, bro, what happened to having fun? Like, it's just, at the end of the day, jobs are fucking stressful, bro. And they're not fun. And most of the times, it's not normal to have to force yourself to go through something just because you get paid. Like, and I know that's so normalized now, because that's basically how society works, but for me, I feel like that's really strange. Why do we force ourselves to go through this and to work like slaves? And well, I definitely wasn't working like a slave. I was actually slacking off a lot on my job, but like, you know what I mean, like a regular 9 to 5 for grown-ass people. Why do we put ourselves through this endless like cycle of working for people you don't like, for money that honestly you could get paid much better if you really look hard enough, and just for you to not be respected? I mean, in my own part-time job, they told me, like, because we're all teenagers working there, of course, you know, and there's specific times where the teenagers work and specific times where the normal people work. So whenever the teenagers would work, they would always, like, I remember this one time they told us, yeah, no offense, but you guys are pretty easy to replace. So I'm gonna get the fuck out of there then. So then you don't need me, so then I'm gonna quit. And then I quit, and then suddenly it was a problem. But it's because around that time a lot of people were quitting, which, I mean, no shit. A lot of my friends who were working there either stopped working or just moved to a different store because that store was shitty as hell. Okay, and now I kind of want to talk about like the myth, like Gen Z is too lazy, Gen Z doesn't want to work. Yeah, no fucking shit. Who wants to work? First of all. Second of all, it's not Gen Z doesn't work, it's Gen Z doesn't want to be a slave. You guys are slaves to your bosses. Even when my parents work a regular 9 to 5. Well, my dad not, but my mom. Every time they work, they come home stressed and annoyed and tired, and they have so much work to do, and they just hate everyone. The amount of shit I've heard them talk about their bosses and their co-workers, all the time I'm asking them, like, why are you still working them? Why are you still working there? Genuinely, what's the point? If you hate them so much to the point where you could literally get homicidal thoughts, why? Just why do that to yourself, you know? But I guess it's seen as lazy the second you don't want to do it. I'm sorry, bro. I don't want to be waking up at 7 a.m. in the morning just to be living off of caffeine, because that's the only thing that keeps you awake is caffeine. You're caffeinated to hell. And if you don't have your coffee, your body shuts down. So you just have to keep drinking coffee, and then you get to work. And the traveling there is already not fun, and you have to dress up, and then you have to be smart casual because you can't be too casual, but you can't be too smart. Like, get me the fuck out of there, bro. And then you just work for hours on end. Emails from people you don't want to get emails from, replying to stuff that you could have just replied to never. And just for what? For that sweet paycheck to come in, and then you spend it, and then you have to keep working. Right. No. That doesn't work for me, and that doesn't work for a lot of Gen Z, and that's basically the reason that we just don't want to do this shit, because it's unreasonable, it's stupid. Excuse me, holy shit, my throat. Also, right, my computer's about to die. Should I? I'm gonna grab a charger. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. Anyways, that took me a while. I was out here just struggling because my dad got this crazy setup over here. I'm too scared to touch anything, like, seriously. Anyways, oh god, I forgot what I was talking about. We just don't want to work as slaves. Just period. We just don't want to waste our lives working 9 to 5. You know how many times my parents have told me, I wish I did this at your age? I wish I chased my dreams. Well, I'm chasing my dreams. And chasing my dreams means not working a 9 to 5 or not working a job. Like, I don't want to work a job. Nobody wants to work, and you're not. I don't get why you're seen as lazy for that. Nobody wants to work. It's not fun, bro. Like, just travel the world, roam around, read a book, bro. Pick up hobbies. There's so much you can do in this world other than just forcing yourself to do something you don't want to do. Let's be honest, nobody wants to work, okay? So why do that, you know? It's just one of those things where it's like seen as normal, but I don't think it's normal. And a lot of people don't think it's normal. But now that Gen Z doesn't think it's normal, suddenly it's because the young people don't want to work anymore. I'm sure that's what they said to like older generations as well. You guys don't want to work as hard as we did. Another thing is, even if Gen Z works, which a lot of Gen Z works like regular 9 to 5 fucking jobs, even when Gen Z works, have we taken a look at this economy, bro? No fucking shit that Gen Z is complaining. We have the right to complain, bro. People were buying houses back then for like 100,000. Now we're buying them for like 1 million. You can't say that people are lazy and then not take into accountability that, first of all, the world has changed so much since the time you guys were working. Yeah, and by you, I mean you old people. Yeah, I'm calling you old. You're old. You're stanky and you're old. I'm sorry, I'm letting out my frustration now. All I can think about is my manager when I'm talking about this. You're so pressured to get a job as well. You know, it's like you go to high school, you go to college, and then after college, you get a job. That's basically how like society and everyone else tells you it's supposed to be. It's just college and job. You know, you finished your school, get back to slaving away, but this time for a boss, right? And this time you get paid, you know, but it's like college, but you get paid, so it's even better. No, the fuck it isn't, bro. And people make it seem like if you don't have a job, your life is just gonna just gonna derail. You're gonna be homeless by 30. What? There's other ways to make money other than just having a regular job and being employed and working for someone. Working for yourself also is a job, I guess, but I mean like jobs of working for someone, working for a boss and working for a salary and just a contract, working under a contract. Like,
oh my
God fucking damn. As someone who's worked under a contract, it is not fun. It's not fun at all, bro. You can live without getting a job, bro. You can live life without getting a job. I know people, and granted, barely, but I do know some people whose parents, they just don't work. Or one parent works a very good job and then the other parent just stays at home. Or both parents kind of do like on and off gigs. Like my aunt is a yoga instructor. Granted, she doesn't get paid a lot, but she's a yoga instructor and they make ends meet, you know? So you don't have to have a hard job and you don't have to put yourself through this labor to get a paycheck that 1,000 other things could pay you the same for. You can be creative and get a job out of that. That's what I'm trying to do. Just start making art, start picking up an instrument, create a band, bro. Who knows, you know? And you just don't need to be tied down instantly. I know a lot of people who they plan out their whole future and all ends just lead to having a job. And a stressful job. I want to work in a bank. I want to work as a lawyer. Have you ever explored any country other than your own? Have you ever gone on vacation? Have you ever met interesting people? Have you ever picked up an instrument? Have you ever drawn? Don't just settle for something that people have set out for you. Just because your parents went to school and they did well in school and they immediately got a job doesn't mean you have to get a job instantly, bro. You can do stuff. You're young. That's the thing. Young people throw away their lives too easy nowadays. And honestly, I do think that. You throw away your life way too easy. You know how much you can still do with your life? I'm 16. I'm not gonna plan out when I'm gonna have a job. I don't even want a job. I'm 16, bro. I'm 16. Like, I don't want a job. God. And everyone's like, yeah, so do you already know what you're gonna work later? Not even what college you're gonna go to. It's just, do you know where you're gonna work? What job you want later? None. I don't want a job. Yeah, I don't want a job. But of course I don't tell them that, so that's another thing. It's like a taboo to not want a job. You just have to want to work. You have to want to work hard. You know, that hard-working skill. Hard-working skill. Right, hard-working my ass, bro. Just working like a stupid person. Like a person with no mind of their own, bro. I want to be independent, bro. I can be independent. The fuck? Independent. The fuck? Sometimes I need to shut up. I'm sorry, guys. Okay. Now, speaking on the terms of, I mentioned a bit before, like, just being creative and trying to get a job for yourself while being creative. I am one of those creative people. And honestly, it's not even a skill, it's a curse. Like, genuinely, it's a curse. Because first of all, you know how much art is in this world. You know how much comparisons I can make. How many comparisons artists make of themselves. There's a reason that people are called starving artists, bro. You can't make money off of art that easy. Unless you're like Van Gogh. By the way, Van Gogh didn't even get famous until after he shot... Oh, I can't say that probably. Well, Van Gogh became famous after he... You know... And he was psycho. He was not good in the brain. He was not mentally okay. Like, he cut off his own ear. Can I even say that? I'm just saying shit. But, you know what I'm saying? Artists, they either get famous after they're dead, because art was not appreciated for the longest time, by the way, and art back in the history was only used for religion. It never really had any significance. Only nowadays we really appreciate art. But then again, there's so much art. It's so difficult to make a name for yourself. That's what I'm scared about, is if I want to pursue my art, which I do, I'm looking at colleges for art, you know, like, I'm getting ready. But if I want to do something like that, I don't even know if I'm going to make ends meet. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to eat good, to live in a nice place. If I'm going to be stuck in my parents' house until I'm 30, I really hope that doesn't happen. So that's just kind of a stressful thing. And that's, I feel like, what also pushes the pressure more of just getting a job is like, you can chase your dreams, but will it work out? 99% of the time, it doesn't. That's what a lot of people tell you, is that it doesn't. Even as children. They tell you, like, if you want to be a singer, if you want to be, oh, that's sweet, but that's like a children's dream. Now you're grown up, what do you actually want to do? Now that you're grown up, what job do you actually want to do? I still want to be a singer? Yeah, no, that's not an option. That's not an option, you know? It's really difficult to make a name for yourself in the art place, and honestly, whenever I say I want to do art, everyone's always like, oh, interesting, as if like they know nothing's gonna happen, but they're like, that's so good that you're pursuing arts, and that's so good that you're being creative, and you're just letting your dreams come true. So art is not like a real job or something. It pisses me off, and I've seen so many people. My mom, for example, she is an amazing artist. She studied in the University of like art in Damascus. She's amazing, and she's thrown away her art skills. She hasn't painted or drawn in years. And that's because she had to pick up a normal job so she could actually financially support herself and my dad and us. When she got a family, it was just, as soon as you want to settle down, time to get a real job. You can't live off of art. And that's the sad thing. Thankfully, we have social media nowadays, so it's pretty easy to just set up art commissions, make a name for yourself online, for example. But then again, it's really not guaranteed. There's millions of people who don't make it. So what makes you think I would make it, That's kind of the thing. That's what also pushes me. Sometimes even I'm like, maybe I should just get a regular job. Like, I should be ready for the fact that I would need a regular job. And that's the scary thing. I don't want to do that. I just want to have fun making art and making a living out of that. But it's nearly impossible. That is just fucked up, honestly. I don't like that part about society. I don't like a lot about society, by the way, but that specifically I don't like that because it involves me. So another topic that kind of mixes into that is that I feel like art isn't seen as something as important as science. Art is always kind of like that, oh honey, that's great type of subject. It's not really the, ooh, that's good. It's kind of like the, aww. It's like a little dog that doesn't get taken seriously standing next to a pit bull, and the pit bull being like scientific stuff. People who go, as soon as someone says I'm doing computer science, even I go, damn, computer science? The first thing I say is, damn, you're gonna get paid well. No joke. I catch myself saying that all the time. Because I have a friend whose boyfriend did computer science, and shit, he can get some good money by programming computers and shit like that. So it's just instantly, it's like, damn, you're gonna get paid well. Why is that all we care about, Art is always just like, art is kind of the hippie stuff. No one really takes it as seriously as they would take, for example, programming or science or experiments or... It sucks because I'm not smart. I'm not science smart. I'm not smart, okay? I know the basics and I can handle myself in school, but I'm not science smart. And that sucks because I know at the end of the day, being creative is not gonna get me nearly as good of places as being science smart. I know a lot of people in school who they crave science and they know that they're gonna do stuff like that later. I just wish I was like that. All I know is I can pick up a pencil and I can put something down on paper and people enjoy it. But nothing really comes out of that, That just kind of sucks. There's this subject we have in school where they talk about just society as a whole and politics and how that all happens in our world. And there is an actual science behind it where there's this pressure to achieve more. The more you achieve, the better you are. If you've graduated from 3 colleges, then you're much better than a person who's graduated once. Or a person who's graduated high school and hasn't gone to college, for example. And it's really weird how our brain works that way, because the person who graduated high school but didn't go to college could be much smarter and much more intelligent and inspiring than like the person who's graduated college 3 times. But we just don't take that into accountability. It's kind of like the higher the better, the more the better. And it kind of sucks to think that way, but I think even I think that way. Everyone thinks that way. But it's like, damn, bro. Like shit, I'm a good person, guys. I have a good personality. And I'm interesting, okay? I'm very interesting and I can talk to shit. I can talk to shit? Yeah, my number 1 skill is talking to poop. But I can talk about shit. I'm also very interested into politics and I'm interested into our society and talking about interesting topics, but I feel like all of that kind of drains away as soon as I say that I like art. I like art, and then all of a sudden I'm like, a little kid who wants to make her dreams come true. No, bro. I can get into politics. I just don't want to. And that's the thing. I feel like I'm immediately seen through a very different light as soon as I say I like drawing or I want to do something creative later in life. The smarter you are, the more you're gonna get paid. It all boils down to money. I swear to God. it all boils down to the Jewish people. One more thing I want to talk about is the fact that the way our education system is put in, where you have to know what you want to do with the rest of your life at the ripe age of 16. Even younger sometimes. I'm 16 and I'm graduating this year. You know? So by then I must have already figured out what I wanted to. They're asking you from the age of 13, for example, what you want to do later in life. What do I want to do later in life? I have at least 80 more years to live. Fuck you mean what I want to do for the rest of my life? I've barely started my life. You know? I'm 16. I still have no clue. And I've been wanting to do art since I was 12. But then again, every single time I'm like, but what if I want to do something else? What if I want to do music instead of art? What if I want to work in a bank? What if I realize that I do like science? And then I realized that at the age of 25, and then I've already chosen my whole career, my whole lifeline, you know? That's the thing. I feel like we're too focused on having a role for yourself. It might go back to history where, you know, everyone had their own roles, where there was one person in the city who was a blacksmith, there was one person in the city who was a baker. It could boil down to that. I don't know. All I do know is that it's bullshit, in my opinion. You're supposed to know what you want to do at the age of 16. My brain isn't fully developed. What do you mean? Pick out schools, apply to schools, apply to jobs, you have to have a portfolio ready because your real life is gonna begin. My real life is gonna begin. Life is life. My life began when I came out the womb. When my mom pushed me out, that's when my life began. It's too much pressure to put on someone like that. Even on my age, you know how much stress I'm feeling? I'm under so much stress. I'm 16. Bro, I don't need to have shit figured out. If anything, I should be smoking, having fun and going to parties and talking with friends. Not worrying about what I'm gonna do for the rest of my life. And you know what? All power to the people my age who just don't know what to do later in life, because I completely get that. There's people who don't want to study in college. I get that. I really get that. Because what's the point? You know? You have so much of your life to slave away and do jobs and apply to colleges and do university and courses and degrees and masters, and for now, just enjoy life. And I sound like, you know, guys, we need to take a break and we need to enjoy what we have. But seriously, we need to enjoy what we have. You know how fast your life passes? You know how many hours you can waste thinking about your job and thinking about your future? Stop thinking about your future, just fucking live in the present, bro. This sounds so corny, but seriously, sometimes I waste hours just stressing about the future. Why do I stress about something that's not guaranteed? You know? Let me just enjoy what I have right now. Let me appreciate what I have right now. I'm breathing in a house. 3-story house, by the way. Shit. And I'm just eating good every day. Why would I need to worry about what job I'm gonna do later? Who gives a fuck what job I'm gonna do? Who gives a fuck how much I'm gonna get paid? Who I'm gonna meet? I'm not gonna plan out my life. I'm gonna live life. That's what I'm gonna do. Because that's what I'm here to do. You think cavemen were worried about jobs, bro? No, the whole point of being a human is just fucking live your life, bro. Just live how you want to live. There's 8 billion people on this earth. No one's gonna care if you don't have a job, if you don't go to college. Who cares? Like shit. People make such a big deal out of it. If you don't graduate high school, bro, you're not gonna make it. Who said that? Who said that? And why does that matter? If I don't graduate high school, if I don't graduate college, and I don't get a job, doesn't mean I'm gonna be on the streets instantly. There's not some kind of secret system where the second you don't go to college, yep, we're putting you on the street. We're putting you on the street with a dog, and you're gonna stand out there with a sign that says, please help me. You can live without getting a job, without going to college. And that's perfectly fine. And I feel like that's looked over so many times. I'm tired. I don't want to go to fucking college. Shit. In my dreams, this YouTube thing is going to become a thing, and I'm going to blow up and I'm going to get money. Because at the end of the day, only thing I need to support my dreams is money. Honestly. As soon as I get that, bro, I'm set for life. I don't need to plan out my future and I'm going to work for this job because I like this job. And I like this college because they do it slightly different than this college. All colleges look the same. All jobs look the same. I want something for myself. I want to do something that makes me happy under my own account. Is that too much to ask for? Apparently, yes. Apparently, it's too much to ask for. Shit, maybe I'm asking for too much. My bad, bro. My bad. I want to live a simple life. I don't need to be famous. I'd like to be rich, but I don't need to be famous. I want an apartment with 2 cats. And I want to draw. I want to have a small community of people that I like. Friends, you know. Shit, you know. Travel the world. Very cliche, but genuinely, I want to travel the world. I want to see shit. I want to see Japan. Ooh, Japan is beautiful. Ooh, Japan is beautiful. NBA young boy. Give me gas talking about that little boy.
Who did the young people pick as their leader? NBA young boy. Ooh, give me gas talking about that little boy.
That's how I feel talking about Japan. Like, I love Japan. Do I watch anime? Used to. Don't even hold that against me. Okay, I don't want to go to Japan. I don't want to go to Japan just because I like anime. Like, leave me the fuck alone. Last but not least topic to throw off this video. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Making Up Words. Another last topic to just end off this video is just the pressure of providing for your family. Or is that a big topic? That might be a big topic. So I'm saving that topic for next time, actually. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna scrap that whole topic. Anyways, for the people who were watching, thank you for watching. I'm sure a lot of you guys clicked off. But if you did watch all the way, thank you so much for watching. And yeah, last video got 1 view. So 1 view more than I expected. So that's great. You know, everyone starts somewhere. Just gonna keep going. I like talking to myself. So now I can talk to myself with a camera, which makes it feel less weird and less schizophrenic, which is great. I guess that was it for today. And today was a bit more serious than last week. Even then, I can't take myself seriously, so I'm just gonna giggle the whole time. But it was a bit more serious than last week because I've just kind of been feeling this way because exams and I need to go to college next year. So I am kind of just talking about this because it's just been in my head the whole time. But yeah, that's basically it. And hope you enjoyed. Hope you liked this video, and don't be afraid to leave a comment down below. I don't have a name for him or her or they. No, I'm kidding. I don't have a name for him. I feel like it's a him. I don't know, there's no name. This is just a plain white tag. There's nothing on this tag. Okay, whatever. So if there's anyone watching, give him a name. That's my task. And I guess he was here for support today, for mental support. And hope you guys enjoyed. And I will see you guys. I will not say, well, probably next week, or maybe even tomorrow. Not tomorrow. So I guess goodbye, Dookie Farts. Bye.